Hey everyone! So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and demoing lots of swatches of the new Glowgasm face palette as well as the Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand from Charlotte Tilbury. I have been really anticipating this new launch. The minute that I saw it go up on Trendmood, I knew that I was going to purchase it because I really truly love Charlotte Tilbury products, especially the Beauty Light Wands. I love the Contour Wand as well as Spotlight, the original highlight. That one is probably like my holy grail highlight. I absolutely love the formula. But this face palette also to me had a lot of colors that I feel like I could actually see myself using. And that's one of those things with face palettes. If you're not going to get a lot of use out of all of the colors, like even if you're not going to use one pan, you do have to factor in that it gets even more expensive because you're kind of wasting some product there. So if today's video ends up being helpful, if you enjoy the demos, the swatches, everything, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That way I know that the review was helpful. And then of course, I hope you'll subscribe. Let's first start off with the face palette. I'm wearing every single product that I have here today on my face right now. The packaging truly is spot on. Absolutely beautiful. The pans are really beautiful. In general, I love the color choice. I love how compact the palette is while also having a few options. So this is definitely a great travel palette. I have already traveled with this. I've been using it during the entire weekend and it traveled just fine. 0.13 ounces in each pan. So again, you're not getting a ton of product with a face palette like this. If you want an all-in-one palette rather than getting one of Charlotte Tilbury's blushes, one of the highlights, and then a bronzer, you know, that can add up. It does make more sense to go with a palette like this if you want a lot of selection, but it is a little bit less bang for your buck. These are very expensive products, so I expect a lot from them. So let's get into the formulas because I tend to really love investing in products. Even if they're a little bit more expensive, I will invest in a product with an absolutely beautiful formula. I do feel like sometimes more luxury brands do have better, more sophisticated formulas. Definitely is the case with the bronzer. It really has such a silky, finely milled powder formula, and it does have a little bit of a more satin finish, so it's not really chalky like a very, very matte bronzer, but there's no visible shimmer in it, so you don't have to worry about your face looking really highlighted all over. It actually looks like in the pan that it's a little bit more cool toned, but when you actually swatch it and put it on the cheeks, it's kind of weird. It goes very, very warm. So I like the color, but I'm not in love with it. It's definitely not like my top choice for a bronzer color. I prefer something just slightly more cool toned, but to me, swatched out, it is slightly orange, which is not my favorite. But overall, the color is nice. It's not an orange bronzer whatsoever, but it does have that sort of orange undertone. As for the blush here is probably my least favorite pan of product. Now, I love putting this just on like the high points of my cheeks over here and skipping highlight and just having that like really pretty blush, super glistening look. This has a very strong golden shift to it. So to me, this definitely is like a hybrid highlight blush. I personally am not a big fan of it because that shift is so strong. I do feel like if you have textured cheeks, it can look a little bit more textured than normal. So it is something to keep in mind. Me personally, I do like the product. I would have to be in a very specific mood to use that blush though. As for the more champagne lighter highlight, it is really beautiful. It actually reminds me a lot of Becca Vanilla Quartz. Maybe just a little bit of peach to it. It is definitely more of a yellow toned highlight, a warmer toned highlight in general, but it really is pretty, and I love how finely milled it is. It goes onto the skin very nicely. This is not an obscene highlight. Like, it's not going to give you like a really textured, blingy look on your skin, which I like. I think the formula is really, really pretty. But because of that color, because it is just a little bit too warm, a little bit too yellow, it's not my absolute favorite champagne color. As for the more peachy shade, this is like a true peach highlight. I do feel like it is very slightly too dark for me, so something to keep in mind. The color is absolutely beautiful. It really is like a true peach highlight. Formulas definitely match up. They're really pretty, soft on the skin. They aren't going to exaggerate a lot of texture. Really beautiful, finely milled. So as a whole, there's just something a little bit off with these colors for me. Again, the bronzer, just a little bit too warm, a little bit too orange for me. The blush, a little bit too much shimmer, a little bit too much of that golden shift. With the highlights, the champagne color, a little bit too yellow for me. And again, with the peach, a little bit too dark. I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed because the formulas are beautiful, but I just don't think that it's worth the money for me personally. I think the swatches are going to be super imperative for you guys to look at. As for the Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand Blush, the color is absolutely beautiful, and I'm glad that they got this color right. It definitely, for me, is absolutely perfect peach blush. For the actual formula, it really is gorgeous. It has that really pretty dewy look. It's the same reason why I absolutely love the Beauty Light Wand, and that is by far my holy grail highlight, like I've said before. One thing that I've complained about in the past is that you get so little product with this. So you look at this tube and you're like, oh, that's a decent amount of product. You're definitely not going to go through it super quickly. But if you can see that, like, it's not even halfway filled. It's a little bit deceptive. They could super easily make the tube the size of the product that they're giving you, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. As for the formula is absolutely no different than the Beauty Light Wand. It's just in a different shade. So I love the formula. You can see there, this is one of those products that, this to me is essentially a straight up highlight. If I have very textured cheeks, it's going to exaggerate the texture on my cheeks. If I have pores on my cheeks, which I do find that my pores are most visible in here, like most people. So think about that. You're getting a cream highlight mixed in with a blush, and then you're putting it on that area. It's gonna exaggerate pores, and I was hoping that they would have shifted the formula a little bit to kind of give the cheek that really dewy, pretty look to the skin without it having such a strong highlight to it. It is one of those things, for me personally, I was also a little bit disappointed in this one because I love my cheeks to look fresh, dewy, but I don't want to exaggerate the pores that I have on my face or any of the texture that is on my cheeks. So I hate to even like say this, I'm a little bit disappointed by this launch, and I was so excited for it. Just one of those things. I think that my makeup preferences are really becoming, I want the skin to look super smooth, but I also want that dewy, fresh look. Again, the formulas are really pretty. I think that it's just not perfect for anyone with any textural issues. If you have perfect skin and you could put highlight like on your cheeks and your cheeks look perfect and not textured, then I think you're gonna love this collection because, like I said, the formulas are beautiful. But I do think that there are small choices that they made that make these products a little bit less wearable for like an everyday sort of makeup look. Yeah, I have to say, a little bit disappointed. It is what it is. I still absolutely love the Beauty Light Wand, the original one. I love the Flawless Filter. I have so many other Charlotte Tilbury products that I love and adore. I would definitely recommend looking into those specific products that you know you're going to use a lot of. If you're interested in this product, definitely leave your questions, comments down below, and let me know, again, by giving this video a thumbs up if it was helpful, because that way I know I'm doing a good job, and I will hopefully see you in my next video.